All right, we are ready for another project here at the new house in Florida. So this is our furnace room, mechanical room, air handler, but there's no lights in here whatsoever. There's no outlets in here and no lighting at all. So it gets pretty dark, especially if I want to work on the furnace or change filters or play around with the condensate drain and clean it out. So today's project is going to be to add an outlet down here, add a light switch here, and add an or a wall mounted light up here someplace. So in order to get power in there, I came out to this side of the room, and we do have a wall outlet here. So we will pull power from there. Unfortunately, there's a stud right here. So I've already removed this cover, pulled the outlet out of the box, and drilled a hole through the box and through the stud. So I should be able to feed a wire into this wall cavity here. Then we'll start with an outlet, a wall switch, and then a light fixture up here someplace, just so we can turn on some power and some light. So that's our project for today. So using a oscillating tool makes pretty quick work of cutting out a square outlet box. I've got the first box cut and just pushed in the hole, make sure everything fits. This will be for the light switch itself. I'm using what they call an old work box. So old work basically meaning the drywall's already up on the wall. You cannot drive nails into the studs or anything else. So this type of box utilizes these little wings that catch on the back side of the drywall. After you push the box in and tighten this screw here and screw here, the wing pops up, and then as you tighten the screw, it squeezes the box with the drywall between these ears here and this wing. So that's how we're putting these in. Sometimes it takes a little finagling, but get that bottom wing in and held in place is kind of the funny part sometimes. All right, so that one will go in there. And then the last thing we have to do is we got to drill a round hole. So that will be a little trickier with the oscillating tool, but we'll get to that one in a little bit. Well, we flirted with disaster here. I had originally drawn my hole right here, and I just used the oscillating tool just to plunge in all the way around the hole. And when I pried out the piece, there's a water pipe right there. It's amazing that I didn't hit it, nick it, do something bad to it, really. Unfortunately, I don't think I can move it, and so I had to move the hole over again and re-drill or cut. This would have been a really simple job had it not been for that. So now what I'm going to do is I've got to patch this piece of the drywall real quick. I saved the piece that I cut out. I just trimmed it to kind of make that half moon shape. And we'll get that patch in there before we put the electrical box up here. But you know, A, would have been a really easy project had it not been for that. B, just thankful that I did not plunge into that water pipe. That would have been a very rude surprise. So when you're doing this, you know, be careful plunging in too deep into the wall. I think that's the takeaway. I have no idea why there's a water pipe here. This is a bedroom on that side, no water. There is a bathroom on this side. Why the water pipe is over here, I have no idea. I did check around. I don't feel a cold water pipe. So I just don't know why that is there. But sometimes being lucky is better than being good. That's a coax cable for the for a cable outlet in the bedroom. I don't use that. Does look like I nicked the insulation on it, but maybe not. Maybe that was just some dust. But it's not used at all. So anyway, feeling fortunate we did not cut into that hot water pipe. Okay, we'll have some more later. All right, so after the little disaster thing, we moved the hole over, patched it a bit. I'll throw some drywall patch on there at some point. But that's how the hole looks now. I fed the wires through the various boxes that they need to go in. These are really kind of cool. So you tighten that screw after you have the box in the hole, and that flips up the wing. So the wing now holds that box in place. I haven't tightened this one yet, but I'm going to do it next. Just want to get all the wires in. And yeah, we're making some progress. The last thing we will have to do is we'll have to tie into this outlet here. But I'll save that for the very end, so we don't need to worry about, you know, power in any of this circuit while I'm working. Next, we're gonna strip the wires and get the outlet and light switch and light fixture all set up, and then the last thing we'll do is make the electrical connection at the end. So this junction box is, like I said, it's pretty cool. So you got those little wings that will pop up after we put the box in the hole. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I'm working with one hand. But then you just start tightening this. Now the wing will have flipped up. And eventually it's catching there behind the drywall. Do the same thing to this bottom one. Sorry it's so dark in here. That's why we're putting in a light. It's pretty impossible to do any work on the furnace in here without a trouble light or something. And then just before we put the final tightness on there, we'll just kind of make sure that box looks fairly straight in the hole. And you can all of a sudden feel where it's starting to get really tight. So that's it. All right, now we'll do the little tedious stuff, putting all the, stripping the wires and putting the switches and outlet in. That will save that one for last. We're letting that glue dry a little bit. And then we'll be ready to finish her up. Well, I got busy and I kind of forgot to tape a little bit here, but I just wanted to show you the final product. So we've got a wall outlet down here. If we needed to plug something in this room, we can do that. We've got a new light switch that controls this light up here. And now when we come into the mechanical room, we can actually see what's in here. So when I am not working in here, I do have some storage shelves in here. It's on wheels, so it's easy to move it in and out. But just to store some stuff that I don't want out in the heat or the cold or damp, electrical, paint, some fasteners and odds and ends, a little plumbing, and some paint. Just I don't want to leave it out in the hot garage. And then some supplies that I use for changing the filter and the air conditioner and all that kind of stuff. But you can see how much different having a light in here makes. Otherwise it looks like this when I come in here and try to find stuff. So I'm really happy with this project. I've got to patch up that wall where I cut the hole in the wrong spot. Again, just thankful I missed that water pipe by a tad bit. And I'll paint the walls in here to match and everything when I'm done. But the big part was just trying to get the outlet and the light switch and the light installed. And yeah, I feel good about that. So this project is wrapped up for now.